Another round of storms in the northern plains. We saw round after round of storms in the northern plains this weekend. We're going to see it again today. Tornadoes, hail, wind this afternoon and later on tonight. Area highlighted in orange for the largest hailstones. Let's put some cities on the map and give you your risk as well. Highlighted here in yellow, this area right here, I would kind of give you a circle that goes from eastern Montana into the western side of Nebraska and South Dakota. This area right here, that's where storms will fire today. They will start isolated at first, and those isolated storms, if they can stay sustained, then what we're going to see is some decent organization and some of those larger hailstorms. Once they get really, really crowded and we increase our storm coverage across the North and South Dakota central portions of the state, that's whenever it gets really messy and it's hard for large hail to form with a messy setup, okay? That's whenever we start to see that wind threat kick up. Aberdeen, Fargo, Minneapolis will probably get some high winds through the late and even into the overnight hours. This is going to be a late system for some of us. Those isolated storms will also pose a tornado risk from Billings to Bismarck, Aberdeen as well. It's a level 1 tornado risk right now, highlighted there in green. So a few tornadoes are possible today, just right along the state lines here. Now moving into that wind risk, yes, we do have some high winds expected today. And again, I've increased that risk for places like Fargo, Aberdeen, and Minneapolis, and you'll see why here in just a few minutes. What we're watching for here is a line of storms. It starts out very isolated, it congeals into a line of storms, and then we see an increased wind risk in this area. I would say 65 to 75 mile per hour winds are likely today. Alrighty, here's an overview, a national view of your storms for today, but let's actually zoom right down into the northern plains and let's get a look at the timeline for you. So what we're going to see again are these isolated storms that will start around 3, maybe even 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon and evening. So this is right around or shortly before your evening commute. This is what we're watching for. You see these isolated supercells right here? That is what we're watching for, large hail. Now, as we head into the evening hours, this isolated storm turns into a long line of storms, and that's what we're watching for, that high wind risk, again, on the central to eastern side of North and South Dakota, going all the way into Minneapolis. Have you checked the time? Look at the time here. 7 a.m. Yeah, it's early in the morning. You may be waking up to these storms overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. What we're going to see here is these strong winds, these strong storms continuing to persist into the early morning hours, bringing us another storm risk for tomorrow across Minneapolis. So we're going to zoom down into North and South Dakota and into Minnesota. So what we're watching for is early storms. You get a break throughout most of your day. Your lunchtime looks mostly dry. But then we have another round for storms later on in the afternoon and evening. 4 or 5 o'clock, you can see those isolated storms popping back up across North and South Dakota. This will continue to track to the east in a very similar fashion, posing a wind risk once again for the northern portion of Minnesota through the overnight hours Tuesday and into Wednesday morning. This is why I called it a rinse and repeat, because it's a very similar setup today as it is tomorrow.